Hello, and welcome to Divine Readz. I am Tara with current energy for the Divine Masculine reading. The overall energy for the Divine Masculine currently is financial and material changes, signified with the number 5, and to stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So the Divine Masculine is still trying to become more solid in financial matters, maybe having some issues with a job, with finding a job, with saving, planning a future for himself and or for the Divine Feminine, trying to stay optimistic, maybe trying to do, some positive things in his life, just energetically to kind of reverse some of the negative karma that he's been experiencing. See, I'm seeing here, like offerings, right? Offerings of goodwill in order to gain some sort of good fortune. In the recent past, for the Divine Masculine, I have stand your ground and religious factors. So your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And I want to clarify that. I'm going to pull from this deck. I'm using the Sun and Moon Tarot by Vanessa DeCourt. All right, so Spirit, please give us some messages on stand your ground for the Divine Masculine in the recent past. All right, I got peace with the 2 of Swords. And so this Divine Masculine may recently have had to stand up to someone, some people, maybe family, just in terms of previous beliefs and how he's currently affected by what he's been going through, this Divine Masculine path, okay? Having to face the fact that maybe some things that he learned about faith, about God, about spirituality, whatever, this Divine Masculine's religion may have been up until this point, may be significantly different in what he's come to believe at this time, okay? And so he's just wanting to kind of call in some peace to his life, okay? Having to make a decision about the path that he was going to follow, okay? Let's see, bottom of the deck. We've got Science with the 6 of Swords, all right? Yeah, so maybe this Divine Masculine did not have a religion previously, okay? And maybe for some of them, they were a little less spiritual or a lot less spiritual, just believing more in science, things that you can prove, less faith-based and more factual-based, okay? Maybe not even believing in soulmates, divine feminines, divine masculines, twin flames, And so this is different. I also feel like for some divine masculines, up until maybe recently, they weren't even willing to really delve into this whole spiritual factor. Okay, they weren't willing to believe at all. So let's see where this Divine Masculine is presently. Presently, we have give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Okay. Also conflict and defeat. So I see that the Divine Masculine's feelings have changed, are changing. Maybe he gave a relationship a chance and now feels defeated because the relationship, didn't go as planned. is not going well if your divine masculine is in a current relationship with someone else. This could signify the divine masculine and divine feminine relationship, where, the divine masculine is just feeling defeated about the loss, unable to really open up. The Bach here with the 7 of Cups. Give me a moment. Let's see here. Some confusion about the relationship that the divine masculine gave an opportunity to. Okay. Bottom of the deck. 4 of Wands signify with the term completion here at the top. But what I'm seeing is the karmic wheel. Okay. And so there's a loss of a relationship here for the divine masculine. It's kind of taking a little bit of a toll. Feeling like, maybe he had a fantasy, okay, that this relationship would turn out a certain way. And now realizing that this may have been a karmic relationship, just a relationship where it was more about lessons than it was about wish fulfillment or wishful thinking. He was very hopeful that this relationship would be the one, or was the one for him, that it could make him happy. And now realizing that he still isn't happy. So the relationship may be coming to an end, feeling like he's learned the lessons of whatever he was supposed to learn for this relationship, and now things are changing. I see the 2 of Pentacles, and so yes, this is juggling, going back and forth, trying to balance things, but he's still a little unbalanced. Still trying to figure some things out in terms of what he really wants. His thinking is changing. He's looking at things from a different perspective. The Hangman here at the bottom of the deck is showing me that the divine masculine is trying to be patient, trying to wait, just trying to reflect and take some time, maybe to himself alone, in order to figure some things out. I feel like he's trying to become more balanced and zen, maybe even within himself. This kind of brings me back to that peace card over here, where he's really just wanting to be more at peace with himself, rather than putting any more energy into any sort of relationship at this time. The relationship with self may be becoming more important to the divine masculine at this time. And so subconsciously, what the divine masculine isn't discussing is foundation and achievements and soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And so this divine masculine may be thinking about a family that he has, or a family that he had previously, recognizing and or realizing that this person was a soulmate. Maybe in comparison to the current relationship that is ending or has ended, kind of looking back and kind of realizing some things about what that relationship meant to the divine masculine, what that family meant to the divine masculine. And so if you have a family with your divine masculine, feel like he's missing you, missing the family dynamic, wanting to create a new, more solid foundation. I see gain here with the 9 of Pentacles. But I see flowers here. The person in this card is holding flowers. So maybe wanting to send flowers, to bring flowers. but he's sitting here alone, right? Kind of just like in contemplation, right? He's picked these beautiful wildflowers, right? Wanting to bring them, but something's holding him back. Something's keeping him from coming forward. And at the bottom of the deck again is Temperance. And so again, this is about balance. This is yin and yang energy. This is wanting to complete something here. Wanting to come in alignment with his emotions, with his feelings, with himself. He's kind of still half in and half out in terms of readiness. And so that's why this is something that's not being discussed. It's just something that he's thinking about currently. Okay? So the current challenge for this divine masculine is to free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. This divine masculine may still be in a relationship that he's wanting to get out of. Kind of feeling like he's been going around in circles here. Feeling a little bit trapped. Maybe having put himself in a situation that he doesn't feel like he can really get out of or hasn't been able to get out of. I also see heartache and loss here with the 3. Could signify, the third party situation. But this is more like defeated energy. Sullen and sad. This could even be him just trapped in these emotions, just trapped in the pain, in the loss, in the heartache. Doesn't feel like he has very much control in this situation. Not sure how to take control of the situation. How do I move forward? How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this energy? How do I get out of this relationship? How do I get out of this mindset? How do I release this pain? How do I move forward? How do I move on here with the Chariot? Trying to find a way, trying to see a way out of this. Trying to see a way forward, see a way back to the divine feminine, see a way back to the person maybe that he once was, or see his way to being the person that he wants to be. So the divine masculine knows that there's some movement, changes, and decisions that are needing to be made. All right, he still has options, but these options don't necessarily feel like, like other people, just more like really important life decisions that the divine masculine is needing to make, needing to, wanting to take control and take charge. He's really analytical right now, okay? But this feels like hermit mode energy, kind of, just really like reflecting on self, reflecting on life, reflecting on things that he's done in the past, choices that he's made, but still, again, trying to figure a way to move forward. And so we also got very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And so I feel like the divine masculine knows what he wants, but he hasn't exactly been manifesting it yet. I see the 2 here at the top of this card, and this signifies, the divine feminine and divine masculine relationship. He knows that he wants to be with the divine feminine. I think he's almost afraid to say it, almost afraid to acknowledge it, almost afraid to really pray for it and ask for it, because he's afraid that he'll be disappointed. Sorrow, 3 of Swords. He knows, kind of what he's done. He understands that he's caused sorrow, but he also understands that he feels the sorrow that he's caused the divine feminine in this situation, with the third party situation, with the heartbreak, with the loss, with the disappointment. All right. He feels like he was foolish, but he's also feeling like he wants a new beginning. but there's a lot going on around him. As you can see, there's all these energies here that want something from this divine masculine. They're all circling around. You've got the alligator here ready to snap as soon as he takes this leap. You've got this tiger behind him, so he feels like he can't kind of turn back. There's like hope up here, but there's a lot, and he may not feel comfortable to take this leap yet, right? Trying to get comfortable with the idea of taking this leap of faith. The Hierophant here at the bottom also, so this divine masculine could be married, okay? But this is also a change in maybe the way that he looks at commitment, a change in the way that he's looking at the way he's been in relationships and what he's been committing himself to. The Hierophant is also about gaining wisdom from someone, maybe a person that he trusts. This could be a spiritual advisor of some kind. This could also be like counseling. The divine masculine could be going to counseling or considering going to counseling. I see the 5 here at the top of this card, and so maybe he's changing his views on getting some professional help or talking to a professional about what he's been going through, just in terms of the more 3D aspects of this, life lessons, past hurt, past trauma, past pain, and feeling like part of his hope for moving forward is to gain knowledge from a perspective other than himself. Okay, someone who he feels like won't judge him, someone who he feels like may be trained in the areas of some of the things that he's been through that could give him some different perspective, or even just offer him some advice. Okay, and so in the near future, what we have for the divine masculine is healing family issues, which goes right along with that, okay? And we also have throat chakra. So there may be some conversations that he's wanting to have with some family members, people from his past, people that he's grown up with. Maybe this is about talking to, a therapist or a counselor of some kind about some things that he's gone through in his past, in his childhood. How his upbringing has affected his relationships, how it affects the way he sees himself, and has seen relationships up to this point. But again, there's another 5, and so things are really changing for this divine masculine. He's really starting to see things differently. He's really starting to look at things from another perspective. He's really analyzing himself and his life. Defeat here with the 5 of Swords, and then Strength here at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like this divine masculine, he's really having a hard time right now. I just feel really weighted with these energies. It just feels like a lot. He's trying to be strong. He's trying to stand up in the face of adversity. But I feel like it's always something, right? With the divine masculine. There's always, there's always a challenge. There's always an obstacle. There's always some new revelation. There's always some sort of a tower moment. Very tense and wound up. So I don't know if this is necessarily conflict, maybe conflicts from his childhood that he's wanting to discuss. But this is also kind of wanting to win at all costs, right? So really wanting to overcome. I feel like this is almost like an argument that's taking place about family issues. This could be a family argument or some sort of exchange of words with someone who is from his childhood, someone from his past. Could be a mother, father, a sibling, a childhood friend. Maybe even feeling like, these issues just can't get resolved. That could be why he's feeling defeated. It's just like some things you just have to let go because there is no resolution for them. It's a constant struggle. And it may be like making things worse for him. The continual back and forth with financial issues and obligations, the loss of love, the loss of this relationship, no matter how significant or insignificant, is still a loss. Okay? Not being able to be with the one that you love, but not even being able to be with the one that you like. Not being able to enjoy your everyday life, not feeling like you have peace. And so this may be the divine masculine saying, to a degree, that there's some things that he'll just have to let go of. And he'll have to face his healing on his own, because there's some things that maybe others don't want to talk about from his childhood, from his past, and so he's having to figure out how to move forward without having a certain conversation or a certain amount of closure with some things. All right. And so in that will lie a victory. Okay. That in that will lie a small win or a big win for this divine masculine. And it will help. And again, strength is at the bottom of the deck. So he will persevere. He will get through this. Okay. But right now, it just kind of feels like, he's a little hopeless in how he can rectify some of these issues. But he will get there. He will get there, divine masculine. And so how the divine masculine is currently seeing himself, I see emotional loss again with another 5. Okay? Lots of changes here. Lots of changes. Emotional loss and let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. And so he's in the energy of where he's lost so much. All right? He's taken so many losses. Constantly feeling defeated, constantly feeling betrayed, or nothing is going right. Everything is a problem. There's always an issue, right? And he's been trying to control things. He's been trying to manipulate things. Whether it's good manipulation or bad manipulation, he's been trying to be in control of so many things in his life. And so I feel like he's just releasing it all, but he's also not showing how he really feels. He's not really dealing with all of those emotions. I feel like he feels like if he feels all of these things, that he won't be able to wake up every day and move forward. He's trying not to be in a depressive state, even though he feels depressed. But he doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to allow these things to keep him down, or to keep him bound and trapped to these negative feelings and negative energies. So he's really just going to try to just let go of everything and release everything. He's trying to allow a situation to unfold naturally, and this could also be in terms of his feelings for possibly a karmic partner, but also possibly for the divine feminine. I feel like the angels are working in his favor here. I'm also getting something about cycles and going around and around in the same cycle, and constantly coming back to a place where he's not in tune with his heart chakra. Okay, and so maybe this is releasing some people, releasing a partner. This could be a partner that he has a child with. This could be a family. I feel like this person is almost wanting to leave, and taking the child with them, and he's just kind of letting them go. He's kind of letting them go, but I feel like they've already had like some sort of agreement. They've already come to some sort of an agreement about how this is going to work. Maybe he was holding them here for some reason. I'm going to pull some cards on that. I'm going to use the other deck. Why is let go of control issues here? Please give me a card for let go of control issue. Let go of control issue for the Divine Masculine, please. I feel like this is, wanting to be single, wanting to be alone. This can even be because he's built up a wall, right, with this emotional loss. That he's kind of blockading himself in, barricading himself in, but feeling very alone. But he's going to use this time. To become more balanced, to temper himself, to heal himself, to work on his emotional state. Okay? And even under that here with the Four of Swords, it's about resting and recovering and taking a break. So he could be taking a break from a situation. This could not be essentially like a full breakup, but this could be like a sort of a separation from someone. And during this separation, he's going to take a lot of time to himself to kind of think and get clear. But again, I feel like a protectional vibe here. I feel an energy where, he's surrounded by angels, by loved ones, by people who are going to care for him and kind of guide him in the ways that he needs to go. And so some of the outside influences for this Divine Masculine. I've got mental conflict, and I also have codependency. All right. And so, this outside influence for codependency and mental conflict. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. And so this could be him having addictions, drinking, smoking, gambling, sex, maybe he's recognizing that whatever relationship this is that he's been in hasn't necessarily been helping him in terms of some sort of addiction. We've got the Strength card here. So again, trying to tame those addictions, trying to tame that codependency, trying to balance things out, trying to have justice in a situation. This could signify going to the justice system. So this could be about court. This could be about contracts. This could be about a divorce. But I also have the Seven of Swords. And so there's an energy here of him him or someone else, trying to leave, or trying to plan an exit, strategically planning some sort of an exit. Yeah, releasing, letting go, okay? Getting rid of some things to make room for something else to come in, to make room for better. All right, this bird that's coming in right behind the one that's being released has something here. There's a gift here. There's a gift in the release, okay? And so where we're going now for the Divine Masculine is his hopes and fears, right? So he's afraid of emotional withdrawal. He's afraid that he won't be able to gain his emotions back. He's afraid to let these emotions in, okay? So he's sitting right here on the edge of the water and he's praying and he's meditating, trying to become one with himself, right? But this is also like not allowing the water to touch him, not allowing the emotions to come in, okay? I guess he figures if he sits close enough to the tide that eventually it'll wash over him. If he sits there long enough, if he waits long enough, if he prays hard enough, right? And then we have getting to know each other. But I feel like this is about getting to know himself, okay? As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And so I feel like this is the relationship between the Divine Masculine spiritual side and the Divine Masculine shadow side, okay? And so he's hoping that he can reflect on himself and kind of bring in both of those energies to kind of integrate who he is, who he's been, who he wants to be. Can he bring both parts of himself together to become this better person, to become the type of person that he wants to be, not only for himself but also for his divine feminine, also for his family. All right, there's passion here. There's romantic wants, wanting to move forward in victory. But this is also delving into those emotions. And so I feel like the more he does the work, the more that he comes more in tune with himself, the more that he will start to feel again. He'll start to feel again. He'll also become more stable and grounded with the King of Pentacles here. You know, there's a gift in that. There's a treasure in that. Even if this isn't like material finances, this is still abundance. Okay? This is still abundance. And then from there is the Four of Wands. You know, from there, at that point, I think he feels like that's where the union will come into play. That's where, you know, you get your twin flame counterpart. Hopefully seeing eye to eye. But I also see that this is both selves coming together, becoming in union with himself. And so the eventual outcome here for the divine masculine is trust. This situation is calling for you to have trust. Have trust in what? Have trust in who? Have trust in your spiritual strength, right? So this is trust in yourself. This is doing the work. This is becoming stronger. This is becoming more spiritual. This is having faith. This is learning about your spirituality. This is doing the work to become more in tune with yourself, to open your third eye, to allow spirit and the angels to help you. Communication. I feel like he feels like this outcome will allow the divine masculine to communicate effectively. Okay? To communicate effectively for this reconciliation, for this celebration, so that he can get back into the space that he's been dreaming of. Okay? This is what he wants. But maybe he also wants to talk about some of the things that have gone on. I feel like having this strength and having this trust and having this faith will allow him to communicate about the things that have happened with the divine feminine, possibly the third party situation, possibly the addictions, how he was giving to two, you know, and how those things were a burden. He can start discussing more about everything that he's been through and that he's been going through, and he can kind of start dropping these burdens one by one, kind of releasing these wands, right? Because right now he's carrying everything. He's carrying everything on his own, and he's still keeping a lot of secrets. He's keeping a lot of things to himself because he's been living in illusions. Okay, he's been living in these illusions, and he's just kind of been placing all of the weight on his own shoulders, and he hasn't been sharing it, and he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how, and he doesn't feel like he can. Like, who do you talk to about this? You know, you can tell your friends some of it. You can tell your family some of it. You know, you can tell your partner, your karmic partner, some of it, but you can't tell anybody everything. You know, who do you talk to? You talk to God and you talk to yourself. But he's not ready and willing to do that just yet because he's allowed himself to emotionally withdraw from all situations because he hasn't been ready to feel anything. Okay? And so in that needs to be a death. We have to put an end to that. We have to put an end to him carrying all the burdens and not being able to speak. We have to open up the throat chakra. Okay? Open up the throat chakra, open up the third eye, doing the work, coming to realizations, talking his way through this with an advisor, with a counselor, with a therapist, going through that transformation. Okay, and he's dead smack in the middle of that with all these vibes all over this this spread. Okay, and so I'm going to pull, let's see, a postcard from Spirit for the Divine Masculine, please. Postcard from Spirit for the Divine Masculine, please. Alright, nothing's falling out, so I'm just going to shuffle a couple more times and I'll cut the deck and we will take whatever is on top. Okay? Alright, so it says, Dear you, now is one of those times you're being asked to add some distance. Take a step back and do nothing but observe. Don't worry about how long it'll take to regroup. Just know it's temporary and actually an opportunity to take a breath. Slow down and look at how far you've come. Decisions for the highest good are made when you have clarity, which comes from being open to information from both the intellect and the intuition. When you step into the role of observer, it's as if you turn on a switch that allows your soul to be an essential part of the information gathering and decision-making process. In this way, you can approach things from a more neutral and non-judgmental place. We know you'll make the right choice. Trust us when we say now is not the time to get too close to the fray. Step back now. You will be glad you did. Love you. It's the message for the Divine Masculine from Spirit, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Love you. Bye.